Welcome to the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast, your home for all things football at Waldorf University, the best small college football experience in America. Hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson, from the secret bunker beneath Bolsys Field.
Welcome to this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. Well, folks, we took last week off, a bit of a hiatus, if you shall. We've been doing so good, Troy.
I know, but it's the holiday season, and, you know, there's a lot of things going on and lots of activities. It's also basketball season for our family with all of the, high school events and things like that. Lots of excuses, but that's not what we're not here to make excuses.
No, absolutely not. And, again, as this episode airs, you're going to be you're staring down the muzzle of Christmas.
Staring down the muzzle. When this episode airs, I'm going to be 50 years old, Andy. That's my birthday.
When is your birthday?
Today's my birthday.
Today is your birthday.
I mean, when this episode.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, happy birthday, Troy. So if anybody wants, if you have my cell phone number, I will send you Troy's digits so you can send just random happy birthday, Troy Thompson, president.
You can text the program, say happy birthday if you really want.
Do it.
Or if you want to give a birthday gift, just go ahead and donate it to the Waldorf Gridiron Club.
Yeah, exactly. Troy takes traveler's checks.
You can give it right to the Gridiron Club. That'd be great.
Well, that's great. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
This is a ride, man. This is a great time.
Half a century.
Yeah.
You passed that a few months ago, but
actually, Troy, I passed double nickels.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, about
speed limit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm officially Sammy Hagar-esque.
Oh, nice.
I can't drive my age.
Oh,
55.
Well, I'll tell you what. I like it. I don't feel any different.
No,
but life keeps on chugging away every day.
It does. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah. And we are going to take some more time off, though, Andy.
You know, holidays, let's immerse ourselves in our family. We encourage our listeners to do the same. Just as Christmas comes around, you get busy with the meal planning and having to go here and having to go there and making sure you have all the gifts. But I think you guys know Troy and I very well, and the fact that what this season is all about is the celebration of the birth of our Savior, the reason that we have hope.
Absolutely.
And just remember that. Go in and read your Bibles, read that story of the birth of Christ, and center yourself before this holiday season and give thanks.
Yes.
For the greatest gift ever given humanity.
It's amazing. It's an amazing story. It's the greatest story ever told. And so you can find it in the second chapter of Luke, if you're wondering where to reference that one.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Or watch Peanuts.
Yes.
Charlie Brown Christmas.
Back when you could do that.
Well, and by God, they should.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. And, what would life be like without even wondering or thinking that you would have any opportunity to see those that have gone before us again and be able to hold them and just kind of catch up?
Yeah, majority of the world probably feels that way. If it hadn't been for the light of Christ, we'd be in dire straits and wouldn't even have a promise of anything afterwards. So, pretty excited about the real meaning of the season.
Yes.
Yeah, and it puts everything else in perspective too, doesn't it?
It
does. We look at our 24 season and didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, but at the end of the day, it's about getting an education, growing up, good men, playing with a team that are going to be friends for life, and doing it at an institution that has a foundation in the gospel. And I think that's a great thing about being a part of the GPAC.
Yes,
all of the institutions in the GPAC are of the same ilk, slightly different variations of where they come from the Protestant side. And a Catholic, so we've got them all, and
we do.
It's just an awesome time, and we're going to spend that time with our families.
Yes, we are.
We're going to be doing what everybody else is doing, and the kids are all home. And so, Andy, we're going to take some time off. We're going to be back, though, for everybody, and we're going to say the 17th of January.
Some to shoot for, at least.
Yeah, mid-January. The kids will be back in class by then, and we'll have some guests, and we'll be back at it. But we thought, they get a really long break. We thought we'd take, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, give us a chance to kind of
Right.
reload, and again, we'll miss you as much as you miss us. Yeah. I think we'll miss you more.
As far as anybody knows, I spent the time last week decorating the bunker. So, it's very festive.
It is very nice in here. I'm a big fan of the 12-foot inflatable Santa.
Yeah, that seems unnecessary. But you know what? A deal is a deal.
Yeah, that's right. For sure. That's a good time. Well, folks, we got a lot to talk about. We're probably going to have a little bit shorter episode this time, just as we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and go over some things that are coming up that you need to put on your calendar and keep it on your radar.
Right. Because it is the shortest day of the year coming up very shortly after when this episode airs on the 20th. And I can tell you that that's probably why the episode's going to be a little shorter. Shorter day, shorter episodes. We get into the summer, we talk for, an hour 20 about other teams.
Yeah, our circadian rhythm gets all thrown off with it getting dark so soon. And I could just go to sleep right now.
Right.
It is dark out.
It is. It's already dark.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
And something. I wonder talk about recognition for the reason for the season. After the season is over, after the new year, when the kids get back, we are going to do the inaugural. Well, this has been a year of inaugural things. We did the inaugural golf tournament.
Yep.
We did the inaugural hot dog eating contest.
Great time.
I think that's inaugural. And then we're going to do the inaugural Bolsys Awards, which we're very excited to talk about. So we're going to talk about today on the 25th of January at Bowman, at the Bowman Fine Arts Center on the beautiful Waldorf University campus. The Gridiron Club will be hosting the inaugural Bolsys Awards. And Andy, why did we give it that name?
Well, obviously, we are honoring the man for which our field is named, A. David Bolstorff, a longtime coach and wonderful human being. Here at Waldorf University, he laid a foundation for success on the football field, and we just wanted to make sure that his name lives on forever in Waldorf history.
He wasn't the first Waldorf football coach.
He was not,
and yet the question sometimes comes up. It's like, hey, isn't it odd if you're a head coach, and you have to keep hearing about David Bolstorff,
right?
And because that question has been posed to me by my wife.
Oh, well,
she said,
got to answer that question.
Chapa, does he feel okay? When you're constantly referencing Bolstorff? Look,
we'll talk about it in 38 years. How's that sound?
That's exactly right. That's why I said, well, listen, they named the football field after the guy, and there's a reason for that. Look, it's something like this. I see it as there's been a lot of coaches at different institutions, that are pretty famous. Paterno's gone, but there's still a huge, there's still a program there.
He still looms.
It does loom, and Lou Holtz at Notre Dame, and Hayden Fry at the University of Iowa, and myriad other examples that are the iconic characters of college football.
Right. So
Dave Bolstorff was primarily a two-year coach.
Yeah,
I mean, he coached for 40 years, but we were a 2-year institution then.
Yeah.
And one of my criticisms of Waldorf recently is just that it's like, well, we had an awesome 2-year run as a 2-year institution.
Sure, we did.
It's kind of a weird little anomaly of being a private Lutheran college with a 2-year JUCO. Who needs that? But that's what you and I are part of. That's where we got our memories.
That's right.
From Waldorf, college ties. That's where my parents met, and on and on and on. But I think that, but there's an end to that. And there was an end to it, 20 years ago. Dave coached into that, and he was at the end of his career. And since that time, we've had some outstanding coaches, and I think we've got an outstanding coach right now.
Yes, we do.
So it's not a dig to anyone that has been a head coach in our 4-year institution history. We're in 4-year football in the NAIA, and we're making our way in the GPAC. Making our way from the very back of the line, but where else? Where are you going to start? You didn't come budging in,
Yeah, excuse me.
We started appropriately.
Yeah, we did. Nowhere to go but up.
Bottom up the steps, and we're going to climb to the top. That's how it works. So, and Bolsdorf has a character that is, I hope, indicative of the spirit of Waldorf University.
For sure.
A guy who came here, didn't get paid a lot of money, was a chaplain, also enjoyed football, and ended up being a coach and a chaplain for a long time at Waldorf.
He sure was.
And the number of people that he inspired, whether they were players or not, is what it's all about. And the mark that Waldorf University leaves on our players and our kids overall, we hope is as tremendous as it was when you and I went there, when Bolsy was still, the coach. And so you take a guy like that who we've had on the program, and you say, we're going to do an awards program for our student athletes, for our football players. How are we going? What are we going to call it? They've got the Oscars, they've got the Emmys, and say, well, they've got the ESPYs. Why not have the Bolsys? Yeah. And so it's something that is unique to Waldorf University. It's the same thing as the name of our football field, so that's where we're at.
Yep, absolutely. We're going to have categories, and we want to recognize Waldorf football throughout all the experience levels.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start off with the offensive scout player of the year. Those kids that are out there, they're growing their skills, and they're putting in a ton of effort. So we'll recognize our everybody that was nominated, and then obviously we'll move on to the defensive scout player.
We're actually the other way around. We're going to start with defense.
Well, whatever. It's the scout team.
Yeah,
guys.
we start with. You're right. They're the first. Actually, I'm going to jump back on that a little bit, Andy. We are going to recognize our gridiron people, our gridiron committees.
Oh, yeah.
Head coach Tyler Chop is going to get up. He's going to give his remarks, recap the season. Then we're going to honor our academic athletes,
Yes.
And we've had a lot of success there. Choppa was on the program, talked about it a couple of weeks ago. So we're gonna. That's why we go to school.
That's right.
So we're going to start with that, and should have President Alsop in that'll help hand out those awards and recognize those players. Then we are going to get into the defensive scout team player of the year. I can tell you who the nominees are.
Well, yeah, why don't you?
Let's do that. I'll do this for most of them, but not for every category. But I will say that right now, for our defensive scout team player of the year, we have 2 nominees, Marquise Barnett and Kyle Wood-Roan.
That is correct.
Those are the nominees for defensive scout team player of the year. You'll have to either come to the program, or you'll in person, or you'll have to watch it in live stream.
Yeah, and you're probably wondering, how in the world did you come up with these names? Well, it wasn't people on the Gridiron Club. We went to our coaching staff and independently said, hey, here are the categories. We want you to pick out some people. We didn't give them names or anything, just said, send us some names of people that you think is worthy of a Bolsy. And for our defensive side, those were the two folks that came up. So one of those two will walk away with the 2024 Defensive Scout Player of the Year.
Yeah, and it's either going to be Kyle or Marquise. We'll find out on the 25th of January, as we will with all of these nominees. Then we do jump into the Offensive Scout Team Player of the Year, and those nominees, we got a few more on the offensive side. Scout Team Player of the Year nominees are Justin Dennis, Will Felper, Joey Marino, Xavier Salazar, and Robe Beery.
Correct.
Good to see Robe in there in the mix.
Yeah, and I still remember early in the season, Robe's out there running routes, and one of the older kids goes, "Does he drop anything?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So he works
Good
super
hands
hard.
and he's fast.
Yeah. So he's a local kid. So, obviously we don't know yet, but we've got our fingers crossed. We don't have any favorites. We like our Warriors.
Everybody that's earning these nominations, they absolutely earned them, and any one of them could absolutely get it. So pretty excited about that. We do have a new, these are all new, but we have an additional category that we hadn't thought of, and we're glad that we had a conversation with all of the coaches. The Iron Warrior of the Year. This is the work that it takes to get to where we need to be, happens in the off season, and it starts in the weight room. Well, it might start in your head, but then right after that, it's the weight room. And so we're going to have Brock Wilson, our strength and conditioning trainer there, present this award and the nominees for the Iron Warrior of the Year. Andy, you have that in front of you?
I do. Aiden Williams and Luke Byer.
There you go.
For our Iron Warrior of the Year. It's a three-headed monster. It's what you perform out in the football field, what you do in the weight room, and what you do in the classroom. We want to recognize all that because it's vitally important. Football is the means to an end for us. What we want to do is get these kids turned into good men that have a degree. They walk across that stage in late April, early May. That's what it's all about. And so, yes, the Iron Warrior.
The discipline that it takes to make yourself, when you're here, when you're on campus, it's the discipline's a little easier because you've got all your teammates holding you accountable. But, if you're not staying here over the summer, the discipline that it takes to maintain that strength and conditioning so that you're ready to roar. That's something special. So we've got a couple of great nominees there in Luke and Aiden, and look forward to finding out who will be the inaugural Iron Warrior of the Year on January 25th.
Cannot wait.
We're going to do some highlight videos, specializing, I guess, in highlighting. They all highlight. Sorry, we highlight videos for the special teams. I was trying to combine the two, and it just didn't work out.
It made sense to me.
Special teams, obviously the offense and the defense. And so we'll have highlight videos as part of the program.
Sure will.
Some other videos that are just kind of showing what it is that has happened in this last season that aren't necessarily on the field related, but things that happened off. And so it's going to be a fun night. I mean, just really excited about that. Think Oscars without the political speeches and famous people.
Well, I'm going to get up there at some point. I might have to, I don't know.
You're pretty famous. You're a public figure.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I'm a public employee.
Yeah. Well, either way, a lot of people know your name. This podcast travels everywhere.
As Ron Burgundy said, I'm kind of a big
deal. You are.
People know me.
We are going to recognize the Special Teams Player of the Year.
Yes.
And we've got two nominees, and I'll let you say this.
Well, yeah, one of them seems like a shoe-in. The other one's kind of shady, and I'll let you guys decide.
Right.
That. No, absolutely not. Two quality individuals. Isaac Burgett and Jack Thompson are our nominees for Special Teams Player of the Year. So,
unbelievable.
and the only way you can find out is by getting an invite to this. So if you're sitting there listening going, oh, I want to go to that.
Yeah.
Are you a member yet?
Yeah, are you a member of the Gridiron Club? Because if you're a member, then you're on my email list. And if you're an email list member, then that means that you were getting all of the Fan Friday emails throughout the season. You're a part of the close circle there. Everybody that's in that email list that I have is going to receive that save the date. And we're going to invite you to come and have dinner with us. We're going to have a little social. I don't know if it'll be a full hour. Have a little social before. And the players will show up, and then we're going to eat. There's a basketball game happening just before that across the road. Then we go into our big show. So it's going to be a big deal. I'm looking forward to producing it, and already coming up with some cool ideas. Got to have music, got to have lights and effects.
I would dare say it will be an extravaganza.
It will be. I don't think it's tuxedo level yet, but maybe someday.
I don't own a tuxedo.
Me either. We could rent.
I can't believe you don't own a tuxedo.
Orange. I got a military tuxedo. That would be weird.
That would be a little off.
I look like it looks cool when you're with a bunch of other military guys.
Would it still fit?
It still would fit. Yeah. but the beard doesn't go
Oh
along with
no,
that
absolutely
outfit.
not. You
Yeah,
have to shave.
I'll just wear. So I think I'll wear. I might
Face
wear
a
a
court
suit.
martial,
Yeah,
facial hair, and
unless you're in the Navy back in the
military.
day. Yeah, or Special Forces, which I was not.
no. Okay.
Yeah, I mean I was special, but
Yep. Exactly. And a force.
and a force, but not together. You got it. We are going to also recognize, this is very important, the GPAC All Conference recognitions. We had Gerardo Caldera Hernandez were there. Jack was part of that, and of course Luke Byer. So those were the folks that the GPAC recognized. We'll have Chad Gassman come up as the AD and recognize our honorees. They're all honorable mentions. We didn't have any first or second team guys this year, but having 3 guys on the GPAC in your first year in there is not too shabby.
let's look at the teams in our conference.
Yes.
You have limited space, and you have a team that made Morningside was defeated by Grandview in the national semifinals.
Yeah.
Obviously, we wanted Morningside and or Northwestern to go the distance and take us. Super proud of both those programs for what they did. But Grandview's a heck of a program. Another 4-city kid actually had some mentions on the NAI football front page. With some things, Kellen Moore. So good for Kellen. But then then you've got 2 teams, in my opinion, that should have made the playoffs. Concordia and
Dort. Absolutely,
those guys should have been in there. And hey, it's gonna provide a fire for those 2 programs for the next few years, and hopefully we hopefully it's not like you Waldorf guys are going to pay for this.
Now if it sounds like we're buttering up to the GPAC play, there could be part of a reason for that. Andy and I are conspiring to send out emails, a voice email to all of the head coaches in the GPAC shortly after this program airs, just to invite them to have be on the show. So we'll do I don't know if we're going to call it Behind Enemy Lines or not.
No, they're not enemies.
They're not enemies.
They're family.
It'd be fun to talk to the different coaches in the GPAC, and so we have that plan. So I think our winter plan, after when we get back, I think the last, obviously we got some things to talk about in January, but it's maybe starting in February. So we'll hopefully have we'll see what coaches come along with us. Now,
talking about the GPAC real quick, and we're getting off script here, and that's fine. One of the things this weekend, I was looking at stats, NAI national team stats on where Waldorf ranked. Obviously, in a lot of the offensive and defensive categories, we didn't have a lot of success, and we're in the bottom part of the 97 football teams in the NAI. However, penalties against Waldorf University, we were the 4th best team in the nation for least penalized. And I thought, wow. And really, wow, that's good. It talks about discipline. But then I started looking a little bit further. The top 10 teams, least penalized teams in the nation, 8 of the 10 were GPAC teams.
Is that right?
So either we're really disciplined, or we have a officiating crew that lets us play football, and that's why the GPAC is the best conference in the nation. And all of the GPAC football teams are in the top 20.
I think that's amazing.
It is.
2 things can be true at once. I think we do have the GPAC officials let us play the game clearly.
Yes.
And then I also think that we have in the GPAC pretty evidently character in every program.
Yes, they are.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think I've said this before, and it rings true of all the programs, but notably when we played Morningside here at Bullstorf Field, Coach Ryan and Coach Chapa were out in the center of the field, just the 2 of them having conversations beforehand, and there's always something to ask him. And of course, if he's talking to Coach Ryan, I'm not going to interrupt or anything like that, or even invade their space. And afterwards, I walked over to talk to Coach Chapa, and without even missing a beat, he looked right at me and goes, "That guy goes to church." So it talks about the character. So these guys aren't bringing thugs into their program that are headhunters that are looking to injure somebody else. I'll recall against Northwestern when Gavin Johnson broke his leg. Their head coach is right down there next to him the entire time that Gavin's on the field. Character. Best conference in the nation.
100%.
Hands down.
And we don't just say that because we're trying to get the other coaches to come on our show, but we mean it. And that's because that's why it's such a great fit.
Yeah, it really is.
It really absolutely is. And I think that, all right, so back to the show, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We are talking about the Bolsys.
We did, so we'll recognize those GPAC all-conference guys. And then our most outstanding, we got the most outstanding D lineman. Nominees are, we have two, and very worthy candidates for sure.
100%.
James Jenkins.
Yep.
And Nico Page.
Yep, those two guys, workhorses.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So we'll find out who is the most outstanding D lineman on the 25th of January, followed by the most outstanding O lineman.
Yeah, offensive lineman, and the nominees for that are Logan Tyler, Jacoby Mays, and Gavin Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just mentioned Gavin. Unfortunately, his season ended with a break.
Yeah.
A bad break.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And every one of those guys, the problem with, and we've talked about this on the show before, it's so hard for the offensive line to get recognition statistically because they can only really show about two things: how many games they've played,
Yep,
and whether or not they got a tackle on offense
after a turnover.
Yes, yeah. So it's a tricky situation there, but unless you're, who was it? Just the other night, I'm trying to think of. It was the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears brought against the Vikings.
Yeah.
Then in that case, they put the center at fullback.
Oh, I see. I didn't watch all the game.
So
Too tired.
they put the center at fullback, which they'd practiced. But when you do that and you've got that number, you have to check in.
Yeah.
He didn't, and they did. It got a touchdown.
Man, that's
and they got called back because they didn't.
Oh,
they did. I mean, I don't feel bad for the Bears.
No, of course
as
not.
a Vikings fan, but I was like, in that game, I felt a little bad for the Bears because I was like, these guys, rough.
Yeah, and that's a very Chicago thing to do. If you remember the 85 season,
Yeah.
William, the refrigerator Perry,
Yes.
would line up in the backfield, number 72. I'm sure he checked in because that was that was kind of a thing. But I'll tell you what, I watched a bit of that game, most of the first, I think all of the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota's ice out unis were fire.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
Oh my God!
And the U.S. Bank Stadium
That's
looked
the
pretty
nicest thing I could say about the Vikings ever is that, again, I don't dislike the Vikings, but they're not my favorite team, obviously. But at the same time, I don't know who put that together, but that was a quality piece of uniform and equipment work there. I
kind of like the all white uniforms.
really
maybe
liked
it's something
them a lot.
Maybe there's something
I liked
to
the
think
helmet.
about.
I liked the helmets.
I know you're a Saints fan, and that's coming up. That's Monday Night Football this coming Monday.
Yeah, that's going to be unfortunate.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll leave that alone. And we won't be back until the 17th of January.
I know we won't be able to talk
able to
about the
talk
Saints breaking my heart one more
Talk
time.
about it. Well, let's see. We go from so we're going to find out if it's Logan or Gavin or Jacoby. Any one of those three hard-working young men could be the most outstanding O-lineman. We can talk a little about the Rise from the Ashes campaign at the event. We've got, like I said, those highlight videos for the defense and the offense. We get the Defensive MVP award. We got 3 nominees for that, and that's Kaysen Handel, Jakeem Brock, and Luke Byer.
Yeah. Again, how do you choose?
Yeah.
And 3 high quality individuals that gave everything out in the field. So yeah, that's going to be exciting to see who comes out on top of that. So yeah.
This, by the way, now that I think about it, is actually the official notice for all of these players.
Oh yeah, you guys got to be there.
Yeah. Dear listener, you and also the players are finding out in this episode who the nominees are for these categories.
Well, and Gerardo, our biggest fan who listens to every episode, he knows he has to be there and he would be anyway because he's a great dude. But he
Still got
may
baseball season to play.
and he may have to tell a bunch of guys, hey, by the way, did you listen to the podcast?
Yeah. Hey, dude, you're nominated. Nominated. It's like the Oscars.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you don't win, for the rest of your life, you can say that you're an Oscar nominee. You can say you're a Bolsy nominee.
Well, and here's the thing.
Because these guys, with the exception of the offensive scout team player of the year, where there's five.
Five, yeah.
Everybody else is 2 or 3.
Yeah. And we're not going to do it like the Oscars, where we have a bunch of cameras focused on all the nominees. And then when they say, and the award
We're not going to do
for
that.
Best Picture goes to.
Yeah.
And then they have the other people that have to feign.
Yeah.
Like, good job over there. That's
Right.
That's great. Well deserved. Thinking, oh, that's crap.
We're definitely going to highlight all of the nominees. We'll announce the winner there at the Bolsys. But we're not going to have those. Look, first of all, we don't have that many cameras. Okay, it was bad enough we're trying to get like 4 to 6 cameras on this whole thing.
All right. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
If we can throw it together, we'll try to live stream
Get a live stream.
on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
And that way, for those family members and friends and anybody else, because this is not one of those things where, hey, if you're a nominee, you can come. If you are a Waldorf football player, show up.
If you're a Waldorf football player, you'll be there, from what I understand.
I think the coaches are saying you're going.
Yeah, and the coaches will all be there. We'll have lots of other folks. And then obviously, if you get the email invite because you're on the mailing list because you're a Gridiron Club person, then obviously you're going to be there in person too.
We're going to feed you and entertain you.
Yeah, that's right.
Extravaganza.
Can't tell you what the menu is. It's going to be awesome, though.
Oh, yeah. We have one of our best people working on it.
It's not a secret. It's just that I don't know the answer yet because we're dealing with 2 or 3 different vendors and trying to get the best menu and all of that stuff put together. But by the time we come back, Andy, on the 17th,
we'll
be able to tell you what the menu is.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and there'll be some more emails on.
I'm already hungry.
Yeah, emails. But if you're not on the email list again, the best way to get on it is just go ahead and join the Gridiron Club.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to join the Gridiron Club, a mere $100.
That'll get you in.
That'll get you in. You know, and so you might think, well, that's a little expensive for a meal. Well, yeah, but there's people that have given a lot more than that. So that way we can help those young men that you're going to be sitting with.
That's what I'm saying.
And seeing. And
everything we do, it's like fundraising.
Well, it is.
That's exactly.
Exactly. And now this is something that we're not asking, for thousands of dollars for you to have the opportunity. But hey, get out the checkbook.
Put a little pen to paper there.
Yeah,
and make sure the paper's got like your bank routing number and your.
And we got a Venmo.
Yeah.
And we got a
you can
PayPal.
Venmo us. You can go right to the website and just
bam,
like that.
Get her
we
done.
make it as easy as we possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember back in the day, 2 years ago, this is our 3rd season. We're just like, go ahead and send it to P.O. Box 126. I don't remember what our
125.
125. Maybe that's the problem. I was saying the wrong.
Well, and so,
Millions of dollars in box 126.
well, yeah, we could maybe do like a PSA beforehand. Like, all right, step 1 is you call your credit card company and say, what is my limit?
No.
What is my available limit? Oh, $8,500. That's right. That'll probably with Christmas and everything.
Right.
I'd like to give $5,000 to the Waldorf Gridiron Club, please.
Right. For all of you
Boom.
American Express card holders, there is no limit. So go ahead and do whatever you need
Oh,
to do.
absolutely. Yep. Give till it hurts. Yep.
Hey, of course, you do have to pay that back immediately. So,
Well,
yeah,
there's
there is that. All right. So we talked about that. The defense.
Yep. And then the second to last category is going to be our offensive most valuable player, and we have 3 folks that were nominated, and great people. Our wide receiver Bryce Jones, another wide receiver Caden Obley, and our quarterback Lewis Williams. Those are our 3 nominees as offensive most valuable players for 2024 Bolsys.
Make an argument for every single one of them. That's why they're nominated, and really excited to find out who it will be that takes home the inaugural offensive MVP Bolsy in January on the 25th.
Yeah.
Andy, we are going to recognize a couple of other people. We're not going to give you any names of our nominees because this part does remain secret. We have our fan or fans of the year and our volunteer or volunteers of the year that we will recognize in between the offensive MVP.
Yep.
which we just mentioned, those nominees, and our final category. And this is just super important. It's a part of it was a good long discussion that we had at our last Gridiron Club meeting as we were planning this out. And it's the A. David Bolstorff Man of Honor.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that we started talking about a couple of years ago.
Yep.
We want to recognize that student athlete football player that epitomizes Waldorf football everywhere that they go. That person that is somebody that gives it their all on the football field. They give it their all in their community. They give it their all in the classroom, and just is that person that you can look to and say, that is Waldorf football. So we're going to have a large trophy that is going to be placed. That person, whoever is selected, that person will get their name on that trophy, and it's going to sit in a place of honor up in the coach's office so that everybody that goes by, recruits, players, everybody can look and see what kind of standard is being set to be a warrior here at Waldorf University.
Yeah, the character of David Bolstorff, like we talked at the beginning of this program, as epitomized in the character of our player,
Yep.
Who we're going to recognize as the A. David Bolstorff Man of Honor. And I'm excited actually to have this as the culminating event of the evening. It's like the best picture in the Oscars or whatever the other things are in the other award shows. This is our the big one. They're all called the Bolsys. They all get the same trophy for them to have on their own, but the one that you talked about, that's permanent.
Yep.
With names. And so who will have that first name on that A. David Bolstorff Man of Honor
Gonna have to show
trophy?
up.
That will be to determine, but I can tell you that it's one of these three, and pretty excited about the nominees for this.
I don't think we're going to name the nominees, are we?
We're not going to say that?
No, I don't think so.
We don't even tell them?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Then that's a secret.
Yes.
I mean, it's a secret to you guys, but not to Andy and I. We know who the nominees are, and if you
bet.
want to find out, you're going to
gotta
have
come.
to either come or tune in.
And just so you know, the person that is awarded the Man of Honor for 2024 will take home a Bolsy replica with. I mean, so they're not just going to walk in.
Yeah.
Like, 20 years from now, bring their kids back and say, "See that trophy over there?
Yeah.
That's my
They
name."
could, though.
Yeah, but that will be the first name.
That'll be the
First name, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
A. David Bolstorff.
That's pretty good. I have to tell you, we did not get Bolstorff's permission to call this the Bolsys, but we're just going to go ahead and go with it.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
He didn't want the field named after him or the gateway that got dedicated either to him. So.
Yeah, but it was good to have Coach on campus outside the field and go out there and do the coin toss, and it was just great to see Pastor Bolstorff one more time, and what a wonderful human being. If you know him, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Well, that is what's going to happen. It'll be on the 25th of January. That's a Saturday night. Once again, it'll be at the Bowman Fine Arts Center on Waldorf University campus. That's the big, beautiful glass-looking building that is kitty corner from Bolstorff Field.
Yep.
Overlooks the field, overlooks the field house. There is a basketball games that day on that Saturday. So if you're coming into town for these this award show, by all means go to the basketball. I know that's where a lot of the players are going to be beforehand anyway. We will have a social hour prior to that for the Gridiron Club members, the invites, and then obviously we'll have a great meal with everybody, and then we'll do the award show.
And who knows? I mean, it's end of January. Maybe we'll just put up some tents outside, do a big old tailgate.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right.
I get too cold. Yeah, thin bones.
It'll be on the stage, though, and it'll be, look, it's just like you're expecting to see. And if for some reason you can't make it here in January, and maybe you're a remote parent or listener or whatever it happens to be, that's fine, too. We're going to get this put together. We will live stream it. If we can't, for some reason, get it live streamed, we will absolutely have video of it for you to check out on the website later on. So that's the plan right now, folks. Andy and I are going to take a nice holiday break, and back in the middle of January on the 17th. That's when the show will air, the next one. We're looking forward to having as many of the head coaches from the GPAC as we possibly can, starting in February.
You bet.
That'll take us into, if they all come, that'll be great, one at a time. It'll take us right into spring ball and on and on and on, and that'll be the beginning of our 4th season.
Spring ball.
How about it?
Right around the corner.
Never ends.
I can't wait.
That's right.
I can't wait. Super excited about it. So, folks, Merry Christmas. And as I said earlier, go celebrate with your family. Hold them close and dear, because it's just, it's a beautiful thing that you have, and appreciate every moment of it. And know that you're never going to be apart because of what we're celebrating.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. For Troy Thompson, this is Andy Buffington, and forever and always, go Warriors. You can join the Waldorf Gridiron Club and be part of the best small college football experience in America.
Just visit our website and pick your membership level. Find us and everything Waldorf Gridiron Club related, including professional photos, at waldorfgridironclub.org.
You can also click on the Support the Show link in the show notes to donate.
And you can even use the United States Postal Service by sending your check to the Waldorf Gridiron Club, P.O. Box 125, Forest City, Iowa, 50436.
It's tax exempt, hassle-free, and has a level for every budget.
That's right. Anyone can join, even our rivals.
Show your colors. Join the Gridiron Club today.
Get it?
Got it. Fantastic.
The Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast is hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson. Produced by Sunnyside Farm Studios in beautiful rural Forest City, Iowa. Platformed by Buzzsprout and music by Soundstrike. The Waldorf Gridiron Club is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the student athletes of the Waldorf University football program. Our mission is to assist the program in maintaining the best small college football experience in America.